Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Friday, the 23rd of Muharram 1445, corresponding with the English date 11th of August 2023. Hazrat Wala is saying that this is the last malfuz of the Maktubat-e-Masumiyah. It's here, and the tarjuma of it also is here in front of me. It comes in the hadith that waqt namaz wo hijab jo darmiyan banda wa khuda hai uj jata hai, that during salat, at the time of salat, that veil that is between the servant and the creator, between the banda and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is lifted. And in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam's statement here, there is ishara and reference to that as well. Arihni ya Bilal wa qurratu aini fi salat. O Bilal, give me comfort, meaning by calling out the adhan, and the coolness of my eyes is in salat, because that is actually what happens when there is nothing then left between the servant and the creator. All veils are removed. It is the person and Allah. Therefore, Imam Ghazali has said, Al-wudu al-infisalu anil khalq was-salatu al-ittisalu bil-haq. Wudu in essence is distancing oneself from the creation, and the essence of salat is when the banda and the bondsman goes and meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, makhluk se juda hona, that's wuzu, and khuda se jur jana, that is salat. Sayyidina Zainul Abidin used to go pale in the face when making wudu, and on inquiring, he used to answer, do you not know in front of whom I am about to go and stand? Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to take quite some time to make his wudu. We used to say that, Hazrat, there is still time. So he used to say, no, I should go earlier. And sometimes when we used to take him earlier or want to take him earlier, he used to say that, don't you know I am ill? And can't you wait a bit? Allahu Akbar. If a person, while he was in the masjid, and if a person who was sitting would then stand out of awe and in respect for him, it would displease him tremendously. And he would go on to say, to masjid Allah ki ta'zim ki jagah hai. The masjid is the place where we honor and respect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why are you showing respect to me? Nevertheless, he would prevent the people like this. There was this old person who used to continue doing this. And on one occasion, when Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab said to him, why are you doing this? Then he said, Maulana, hum to sarkari mulazim the. Listen, I worked in the offices or in the army. My entire life passed in that. And when the senior personnel, lieutenants and other seniors would come, we would stand in honor of them. If that's how I spend my entire life, then should I not stand in respect and out of awe for you when Allah has granted you so much? When he said that, Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab then left him on his hal. Definitely, the salat of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab was of a level like this, what is mentioned here by Hazrat Khaja Masoom, where a person is just in another alam of his own, between him and Allah, when all veils are lifted that exists between the servant and the creator. You know, one of the Khalifas of Hazrat Maulana Tanvi, he used to say that if you want to see salat, then you must go and see the salat of Mauli Wasiullah. And Waqi, his namaz was like that, like he was not even present here. On one occasion, when Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab came to our house, Hazrat Wala is saying, I was very young at that time, but I remember this so clearly that he was in sajda and he was crying. And to us it was that he is such a great buzruk and he is crying in his salat. I was amazed at that, and that picture is in my mind. In fact, we had that i'tiqad that at that time there, in our eyes and in our hearts, there was no one that had surpassed him. That was our aqidat in him. You know, I'll tell you about my Fufi, Hazrat Wala is saying, my paternal aunt, Karimuddin Saab's mother. She would say, I mean, in her own words, Maulana jab nahi rahenge to kya suraj niklega? That listen, when one day when Maulana is not around and will not be around, meaning if he has to go or pass away, tell me, then will the sun even rise? That's the amount of love and aqidat that she had. Anyway, I was saying that Mauli Wasiullah ki namaz dekho, that if you want to see some namaz, then go and see the namaz of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab. So are we not in that silsila? Allah Ta'ala हमको भी हिस्सा दे. Allah Ta'ala give us also a great portion from that. So al-wudu'u al-infisalu anil khalq. So wudu is where a person now distance himself from the makhluk. Was-salatu al-ittisalu bil-haqq. You know, I'm reading from this year, we're reading from the Maktubat Masumiya. So the khulasa-e-kalam is this, that the place of joy and rida and happiness is that of the akhirat. And the dunya is the place of the pain, dard wa fuqdan, the place of pain, burning, in yearning for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and searching for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A great valuable asset, if there had to be, of this temporary world, then it would be that of yearning for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the most or the greatest ni'mat on this table spread is sozo gudas, this burning in the search of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here, is jagah ki be-arami aram hai. This place, this dunya, here, where there is no comfort in actual sense, is aram and comfort. Or yaha ki soz mein saaz hai. And in the burning here, making mehnat here, in yearning for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is actually the essence or is the plan and your preparation for the akhirat. Yahan par wasal talab karna, darya ko kuze mein dhundna hai. Here actually to search for that we have reached Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and attained and conquered. That is as foolish as looking for the entire ocean in a cup of water, or looking for the sun in one small utensil or a plate, meaning that can the entire oceans be found in a small cup, or can the sun be found in a side plate? So this alam-e-fani is actually the cultivation land. Mazra'a, it is That is the genuineness and the haqiqat of it for the akhirat, where you will plant here and you would reap there. So accordingly, that's how you will be blessed with fruits on that side. This place is Darul Amal, and on that side it is Dar-e Ajar, the place where you would get reward. So in the place and the venue of Amal, if you are looking for Ujrat, what type of talk is that? Here you must do Amal. The reward of it will come in the next life. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's some special servants. Sometimes in this dunya, they get also great portions of what they are going to get in the akhirat without anything of their akhirat being lost. And this is greatly possible, like how Allah Ta'ala mentions in the shan of the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam, وَآتَيْنَاهُ أَجْرَهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ لَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. We have blessed him with his ajr in the dunya, and in the akhirat as well, he will be from amongst the good doers. So we saying Maktubat-e Masumiya, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to say that Hazrat Tanvi se jo mila, lekin is kitab se mujhe bahut fayda hua. Whatever I achieved from Hazrat Tanvi is most definitely in its place. I can't tell you more about it, but I have achieved tremendously from this particular kitab, the Maktubat-e Masumiya. Hazrat Wala also then goes on to speak about the greatness of the kitab Maktubat-e Rashidiyya, and we all say, and it is the fact and it is the reality, Hazrat Maulana Rashid Ahmad Saheb is our Jadd-e Amjad from the forebears, and then we made so much of mehnat on his works of hadith, the Kawbud Durri, but nobody has made any mehnat on the Maktubat-e Rashidiyya. Has anybody written or even tried to take that step forward in explaining the Maktubat-e Rashidiyya or simplifying it or doing this or that or the other? So in this dard and in this pain and yearning for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is tarakki. Now we're speaking about the Dastarkhan. That the greatest ni'mat of this Dastarkhan is soz ghudaz, burning in the search of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We got fikr for this Dastarkhan, not for that Dastarkhan. Sometimes Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to scold us, and then he used to ask the others, I just scolded him and chased him now from here. Tell me, do you people see any improvement in him? Is he progressing now or not? When he used to see us, we were son-in-laws, but if he had to see us and his gaze had to fall at that time when we were sweeping out or something, it would bring so much of happiness to him that acha, in logo ke andar sheikh zadgi nahi hai. Because Hazrat didn't have sons, the son-in-laws were actually like his sons, and he didn't want this year, which was so common around at that point in time, where you would have the sheikh, and then the son of the sheikh would achieve nothing at all, but he's sitting there like a prince, and people are serving him, and he's being honored and respected, and he achieved nothing whatsoever. They would be sitting there, and people would also be sitting and respecting them there, whereas that they have achieved nothing. I think about Maulana Yunus Jaunpuri. Back in the day, what was our haysiyat? We were young, we had nothing. It was the time of Zohar Salat, and he came. And at that time, I seen him, and I got some water, arranged some water for him to make wudu. In seeing all of this, he says to me that leave this, Jamaat has started. You join in the salat while I was making preparation for his water of wudu. And then I said to him that I understand there to be more reward for me in this at this moment in preparing water for you for wudu than in my joining the Jamaat immediately. Nevertheless, I got the khutut that came regarding this particular incident after that also here with me. Then many years later, he comes then to Allahabad to meet Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Saheb. And then, what did he say? He thought about that particular incident and he even related it to Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Saheb. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb was the Imam at the station masjid there in Deoband. What would he do? He would take some roti and then he would arrange for his salan and then he would bring that and he would come from the madrasa. If there was any mehman at the masjid, because it was at the station, if there was one person, he would sit and eat with that person. If there were two persons, he would lay out the food and he would stay hungry himself. Khune dil peene ko, lakhte jigar kane ko, yahi ghiza milti hai jana teri diwane ko. That you have to undergo some type of difficulty, and this is actually when Allah Ta'ala blesses a person. What can I tell you about Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb? बाग में लगता नहीं, बाग में लगता नहीं, सहरा में घबराता है दिल, अब कहाँ लेके बेटे ऐसे दीवाने को. That I don't feel right in the gardens. I'm not happy. And when I go out in the desert, I start feeling anxious and start getting worried and ghabarat. My heart feels like that. Now what do you do? Where do you take a mad person like this and seat him? He's completely restless all the time. This was Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb in his quest and in his search for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He used to come to our house and he would give waz there, and then people would be waiting for him the next morning. But nobody would know at that time that where is Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb. He's gone, missing, nowhere to be seen. Even before the Fajr Salat, he was gone. And then someone would say that they saw him. He is in Mau. And then somebody else would say that we seen him in the High Court. What can I even tell you about Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb and his life and his miracles? So even though the work of the night is actually not possible now, however, for the fortunate ones, it comes their way. For the fortunate ones, it comes their way. Commenting on that particular ayat, where if Allah Ta'ala so wishes, He even gives His selected bandas in this dunya, وَآتَيْنَاهُ أَجْرَهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ لَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. Allah Ta'ala bless us with taraqiyat in this dunya and in the akhirat. Ye kitni achhi ni'mat hai? Isn't this a wonderful boon and bounty कि कोई दुर्वेश रोटी आपकी खाए और उसे हासिल शुदा कुव्वत अल्लाह जल्ल जलालुहु की इताअत व इबादत में सर्फ कर दे. Allahu Akbar. Isn't this a wonderful ni'mat that a saintly person eats your bread, your roti, some food of yours, and the strength that is gained from that, he uses it in the obedience and in the service of the Grand Master, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in his worship. Wassalam, awalan wa akhiran. What guarantee, Hazrat Wala is saying, is there of life? Umar ki koi theek nahi. There's no guarantee, when you look at these trains and when you look at the flights, etc. You don't know. And then you make sure that you are ready. That at no point you're going to let yourself undergo this, that you miss it. So, same here. You just don't know about this life, but you just have to be so ready. Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom, 7,000 Khalifas, the Khalifa and the illustrious son of Hazrat Mujaddid Al-Fithani. He was the son, but what to say? Kam Mujaddid Sahib se zyada kiya. He done work to a much greater extent than even Hazrat Mujaddid Al-Fithani. Look at his talimat and his malfuzat. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of paying attention to this type of teachings. और अल्लाह ताला अपने फजल से जिन सिफात आलिया से उनको नवाजा था, हमको भी नवाज दे. Allah Ta'ala bless us with those great salient features and qualities which He blessed Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom rahimahullah. So what can happen to a person at any time? A person just has to be ready. And you people make dua for my health. All are pareshan and restless. What to do? The dunya is a place of difficulty, sorrow and grief. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself was da'imul huzn, also used to perpetually be in grief and huzn, and in that fikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mutawasilul fikr. Rather, I get tasalli from that, due to which I make shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala keep us with honor and with our deen and with izzat. Allah give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of spreading the deen, our awlad as well. What to do? By and large, children are being abandoned and we're not seeing to their needs. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَّدُنكَ رَحْمَةً إِنَّكَ أَنتَ الْوَهَّابُ اللهم أصلح لنا شأننا كله. My health is not too good. मेरी तबीयत तो खराब ही है. और भी हालात है, and there are other difficulties and conditions as well. Nevertheless, in all of that, Allah Ta'ala bless me with rida and khushnudi, with the high station of being pleased with that which comes from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ بِحُرْمَةِ سَيِّدِ النَّبِيِّ الْكَرِيمِ صلى الله عليه وسلم.